Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time. Welcome back to VHA podcast channel. It is podcast number 15. I must inform you that this podcast should have been done earlier. However, I've been very busy with year ends and provisional tax, which has not allowed me to do the podcast earlier. The title of this podcast, which now is relatively old news, if you're looking at it currently, is the SARS news on the two-pot system. However, I wrote up quite a nice podcast, so I thought that I should. Today, we are diving into the latest updates from SARS, including some major stats on tax directives, the importance of using digital channels, and a stern reminder for taxpayers trying to game the system. If you are into finance and keeping up with the news, you are in the right place. So without further ado, let's get onto it. SARS has been hard at work processing a staggered number of tax directive applications. Since the new system went live on the 1st of September 2024, SARS has approved 1148,729 tax directives. These approvals mean that the necessary funds have been released to taxpayers without any hitches. However, not all applications made the cut. Around 64917, that's 64,917 applications were declined for various reasons. And the most common ones are things like incorrect identity numbers or income tax numbers. So if you are planning to apply, double check those details to avoid delays. Here is a big number for you, 21.4 billion. That's the total gross lump sum that has been paid out to date. It's a huge sum, and it's a testament to how effectively the new system is running. I have to say, it looks like SARS is really stepping up the game when it comes to processing, speed, and accuracy. Now, one of the standout features of this new system is the push towards using a digital channel. It is part of SARS's plan to make things easier and more accessible for taxpayers. And the numbers show that people are getting on board. The simulated WhatsApp calculator, which lets you check your calculations in real time, has been used over 51,000 times since the process began. But that's not all. The calculator on the SARS website, which is part of the SARS online query system, has been accessed an impressive 655,801 times. That is 655,801 times. It seems like people really appreciate being able to handle the tax matters from the comfort of their own homes. Plus, SARS have received 53,519 queries through their voice channels and 8,655 in their branches. While people still visit the physical branches, SARS is encouraging everyone to stick with the digital. It's quick, it's simple, and you don't have to stand in any of those long, annoying queues. Here's something important. SARS wants us to remind everyone that if you are applying for a withdrawal from your pension or retirement fund, there are a few things you need to get right first. Make sure your income tax number and ID number are correct, and crucially, check that you don't have any outstanding debt with SARS. Because if you do, you could hold up your payout. Once you apply, if the directive is approved, the fund management will deduct any tax owed before you get your final payment. And for those with existing debt arrangements with SARS, don't worry. As long as it's part of an agreement, your withdrawal won't be affected. But any outstanding amounts will be deducted first. Here's something that might sting. Tax on withdrawals is imposed at a marginal rate that ranges between 18 and 45%, depending on your tax bracket. So don't be surprised when that tax deduction shows up. Finally, SARS Commissioner Edward Kitsweta has been warning taxpayers. Recently, SARS identified 213,654 taxpayers who declared incorrect taxable income, likely in an attempt to score a more favorable tax rate. This isn't a minor mistake, it's tax evasion, plain and simple. The Commissioner has made it clear that penalties will be imposed on anyone caught understating their income. And for those of you who tampered to play games with your tax filing, remember these are serious consequences. As Kisweta said, this conducts borders on criminality, and SARS won't hesitate to act against it. This is it for today's episode. We hope this gives you a clearer picture of what's happening in the tax world and why it's so important to stay on top of your filing and use the tools at your disposal. As always, stay informed, stay compliant, and for more finance news, don't forget to bookmark the South African website finance section for the latest updates. If you like today's episode, please share it with your friends and family who might find this useful. Until next time, it's Vidyan Bola from VHA Accounting Solutions. Cheers, folks.